Well, Patrick, it's great to catch up with you. It does seem a bit strange welcoming you to Macclesfield Town when you've been a fan for so many years. But I guess your appointment marks a new association with the club for yourself. How excited are you by it?
Bob, I'm really excited. It's just fantastic to be here. As you say, my experience of Mac Town is coming up here, meeting my friends. I'm coming here now to do a piece of work, and yeah, I'm so passionate that work is successful. There's a great opportunity. How
important is it, or more to the point, was it that you are such a committed fan? And first of all, your decision to come on board here at the club, and also how it would benefit yourself and the club going forward.
It's massive. The reason I am here is that I am a fan. All the colleagues I've worked with back at Doncaster and Worcester and Chester, they've known my love of Macclesfield Town. All my friends know that. So that they feel I've come home, actually sort of getting a role, actually working here. I think I can bring a set of skills here that are going to really help. I want to see us sustain that Football League future. And if we get that, I think this club can go forward successfully, and I can play a role doing that. And being a fan, I'm happy to take a quite generic role in the first instance, and just do whatever is required to actually take this club forward.
Obviously, being a fan, and we're not going to harbour on about it, but being a fan has obviously greatly influenced your decision. But you also mentioned the skill set which you can bring to the club. How does your previous work in life, the previous roles you've had, able you to bring something uniquely beneficial to Macclesfield Town?
Yeah, so I'm very much a Macclesfield lad. I went to Byron Street Primary School, just the other side of the Moss, and to King's, and I was fortunate enough to go to Oxford, and I've had a career in local government. And local government, it's not the bureaucratic fusty thing that people think it is, and it certainly wasn't for my career. When I'm around, things do tend to happen. So I managed to work my way up in local government right up to director level. I was from a finance background, but I ended up director of finance, director of resources. But I worked, social care was a big area for me. Demand's rising, resources are falling. You've got to work really fast to meet people's needs with the resources that you have. The impact you have on people's lives is massive. I like doing big projects. We built a new Worcestering library. It's called the Gold. It looks like a golden palace. It's called the Hive, and I was programme director for that. When it was initially an idea, nobody knew what would end up, and we created something tremendous. And I want to bring those skills to Macclesfield Town, and take it from here and see what happens.
We'll look into your specific role in a minute, but I know you also, over recent times, have been quite active within the Supporters Trust, which is great to see as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I joined the Supporters Trust only about 3 or 4 months ago, but again, it was the same set of circumstances. I was so keen to see things move forward for Macclesfield Town right now. I see this opportunity for the sustainable future. I knew we needed to fight our corner, and I think the Supporters Trust has been doing that. Been working closely with the club. We've been working with David Rutley, trying to get that future secured for our club, and it was working with colleagues there. The opportunity came across to work at the football club itself.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty of what you are doing, or will be doing.
Yeah.
When the announcement went out earlier in the week, I think it's quite understandable and quite reasonable for some fans to say, Patrick's come in, he's going to be part of the senior management team with the other members of staff who are obviously on there. As you've alluded to, that is quite generic, isn't it? So in terms of on a day-to-day basis, just give us a bit of insight into what you have been doing and what role you are almost charged with initially going forward.
I think the thing is, there's an immense amount of work to do. I'm in my first week at the present time. The initial thing I've picked up is the COVID responsibilities. And again, we wouldn't have been thinking COVID until very recently, would we? But now it's impacting on absolutely everything we do. I'm afraid I'm sitting here with a bunch of papers this large from the EFL and from government saying what all the requirements are. Our immediate one is to get the players back training and make sure that we're COVID compliant in that sense. We've got to get EFL approval before the players can even start to train. And then we're thinking ahead to when matches start on the 12th of September, and then when we're inviting crowds back, bringing crowds back into the ground, we've got a hell of a lot of planning and thinking to do to get that right. So my initial set of responsibilities have been precisely that.
And I guess part of the reason it's so critical that these protocols are not only in place but fluid enough to deal with almost the evolving nature of them. They seem to be changing most days when you watch the news and things like that. It's the ability to react and organise and basically get them protocols in place, not only as at the football ground and ahead of fans coming in, which none of us can wait for really, but also, like you say, it's things like training grounds and things like that too as well, isn't it? It's not just on the match day.
It is not, no. For the training ground, they're very specific things. The players have got to be tested before they can start training. There's going to be regular testing on a weekly basis. There's requirements about how players get to training, what they do when they get to training. So yeah, we've got John Morehouse, our safety officer, and I. We're going to our prospective training ground on Monday, and we're going to size that up, do our risk assessments and all the like, see where it goes from there. But that's just one example. There are a plethora of things that need doing at this club right now, and I'll turn my hands to anything. But yes, in the immediate term, I've got my hands full doing that job alone. And
I guess that would begin to explain, most people know me as media manager, and know Chris Edge, for example, as stadium manager, and all people with different specific role titles, shall we say.
Yeah.
I guess that would explain why at the minute, you've been brought in on the senior management committee. Obviously, you're now responsible for COVID, but with the skill set you've got, and as time goes on, this, that, and the other, I'm sure, like me, you would help out whenever the need may arise.
Yeah, that's precisely how I'm feeling. I'll do whatever the club need me to do for us to progress things. So initially it's COVID, but going forward, it's whatever the big challenges are. And I think, Bob, at the moment there's more things to be done than we've got hours in the day to do them. So yeah, there's no shortage of stuff, is there?
But at the same time, critical question now, be careful how you answer this. You enjoying it?
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, yeah. And my friends would say the same. There's the odd gulp moment when you think, oh my word, and you just see the sheer scale of stuff that needs to be done. But I know why I'm doing it, and I just imagine, hopefully in 6 months or in a year's time, that I would love to think we are in League Two, hopefully competing well there, welcoming fans back. I hope bring the feel-good fact, a sustainable club financially, where it's clear to fans that the more money we bring in, the more we can do with that budget. That's what we're about at this club, what we need to be about in this next chapter, and that's what we're all working hard to deliver.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time, Patrick, and no doubt we shall catch up again soon.
Cheers, Bob. Thank you very much.